Hello, everyone. Welcome to a special Collapse of Society episode of Anime Sickos, the podcast for geniuses where we look at the four pillars of modern misery, anime, gaming, posting, and jobs. We're coming at you straight from our state-of-the-art podcasting bunkers.
Yeah, this is Joe here. You know me as the other guy in the podcast. I'm looking at my bunker. Looks a lot like my office.
Yeah, we were very clear to the bunker architects that we should look exactly identical to our apartments, except far underground.
Yeah, I don't do well with change, so I wanted them to build a parallel gaming computer that had to be exactly like the one I have at home.
It's actually just like, it's not even its own computer. The only thing that it can do is like remotely access your actual gaming PC.
There's a huge Ethernet cord running from the bunker up through Chicago to my condo building.
No, Joe, I don't know. I don't know about your bunker, but I'm looking around mine, and one thing that I'm really just getting the sensation of, a vibe that I'm getting in spades, is that I'm definitely not going to lose my mind. I'm going to stay sane for sure. I could be down here for months, will not develop cabin fever.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about myself, and I also feel like this big pile of books that I'm telling myself I'm going to read will definitely happen. There's definitely no chance that instead of reading, I will just stare at Twitter while the world collapses around me and give myself nonstop anxiety.
I mean, Joe, it's silly that you would even bring up that possibility, because like, if we have been telling ourselves for so long that we're going to get around to all these books as soon as we get a chance, I mean, what are the odds that we wouldn't if we actually did get one of those chances? Like, probably zero.
Right. I'll also probably finish the novel I had an idea for. But by finish, I mean start.
Yeah, I mean,
and then complete. Yeah.
I mean, Joe, the future, I say, looks rosy for me in this bunker. Not going to get the virus, not going to get that Rona, not going to get Rona-chan. And again, I cannot say enough. My brain is extremely powerful, very resilient, and I won't go crazy.
Yeah, I feel very calm in a way I never have before, which to me communicates that I've like reached a new level of consciousness and success mindset, which means I'll never have anything bad happen to me again.
No, Joe, I've read a lot about hubris and the folly of man and how to be overconfident in oneself in the face of a cruel and capricious world often backfires horribly. And because I know so much about that, I know that what you just said isn't it.
No. This is different.
Yeah, no, completely. I'll say it. We're going to be going sicko mode.
We are going to thrive. All right, so I figure we're recording this on March 13th, the most normal day that's ever happened.
Yep. What's crazy is that, like, I'm looking back at my posts, and on, like, March 9th, I was posting normal shit.
I think it's important that we should just take some time to just do a general vibe check with regards to our lives as they relate to the virus. I don't know about you, but I've been DMing various people that I talk to online who I've met on Twitter and just kind of being like, hey, what is your job doing right now? And I'm getting lots of stories. And first of all, the general theme is fucking nothing. They're doing nothing. They're pretending it's not happening, which was always going to happen. I was at the grocery store, all of 2 hours ago.
How did that go? I haven't been to a grocery store lately out of panic. I imagine it went fine.
It was weird because I knew all this was happening. I wasn't in denial, but it felt like, oh, this is like a real thing, a for sure real thing. This is not just a thing that means I have to work from home. This is a real life thing with consequences. And I realized that when I got to the grocery store and everything was all fucked up. There was, I had to wait I was in line to buy my shit for I think like 40 minutes. And everything that was like dry good related, pastas and canned foods, mostly picked clean. There was literally like 4 different types of beans left, like one bag of each, and I was like, well, I guess I'm doing this.
I'm Mr. Bean now. Oh wait, Mr. Bean's a thing already. Well, you get me.
He for sure has the virus, to be clear. He drove his infected weird little car all over the UK.
It is a real thing in the sense that, like, I remember people being like, man, this Michael Cohen shit, this is living history. This is going to go into history books. And I'm like, no, it fucking won't. This will, like, for sure. Like, this is serious shit.
Yeah. I mean, 2 things are going to happen. Well, first of all, I'm not downplaying the reality of this. Like, people are going to die. People have already died. And if we track on Italy's trajectory, it's not going to look good. But that said, there are going to be plenty of people after this is all done who weren't affected who will insist that it was no big deal. And it's going to drive me just absolutely crazy.
Yeah, for sure. As I said, I haven't been to the grocery store since the panic since the incident. The incident, I guess, was just like yesterday when everyone started being like, oh shit, like, is this for real? And they came to the conclusion that, yeah, it was. But like, I went like a week or 2 ago. My wife and I went to the grocery store being like, this is probably silly, right? Like, it's going to be fine, right? Like, it's going to be probably fine, but like, let's buy it anyway. And we bought huge amounts of dried beans and lentils and rice. And we're just like, this is silly. Like, we're just going to have a lot of beans and it's going to be like nothing, right? And now I'm just like, I'm the bean genius. I saw the bean event horizon before anyone.
Living in Chicago my whole life has been a series of weather reports about like snow catastrophes, and they've always been like 90% not as bad as they say. So part of me was like, oh, this is just like a type of snow. It won't be that bad. And what I think was the turning point for a lot of people is yesterday Trump like addressed the world, and the minute he was done speaking, like they're like, he finished speaking. They didn't turn the camera off right, so he was just like mumbling and saying weird shit as they unmiked him, which is phenomenal. As that was happening, the Dow Jones plummeted more. The line went down faster. Tom Hanks is dying.
Yeah, Tom Hanks died. He got exploded. The virus made him explode like the boomer from Left 4 Dead.
NBA was canceled. Basketball is over. It's now illegal now. It's like the town from Footloose.
Yeah, every basketball has been replaced by a very unstable antimatter bomb. And if you jostle it too much, there's a huge void.
Yeah, they're all the ghosts from Death Stranding if you play basketball. Yeah. What else happened immediately after?
I mean, well, one thing is that Donald Trump, like, definitely fucking has the virus. Like, he's got it so hard. He has it harder than anyone ever did.
He has the Mr. Burns thing though from The Simpsons, where he has every disease at once, so they all can't get through the door, Three Stooges style.
Like, Joe, I don't know if you saw this. I just posted it to the boys' chat, like, right before we started recording. But like, I believe that Donald Trump is like Kaido from One Piece, in that he cannot be killed by any means. But unlike Kaido, who can't be killed because he's too strong, Donald Trump is too weak.
Yeah. Yes. There's like a weird sort of like anti-gravity force around him that anything that would be fatal just kind of tickles him.
Yeah. The thing is, though, that today he had a second press conference where he was supposed to assuage fears that were stoked by his first terrible press conference, where he said that the new plan was that the private sector would step up. And he had a bunch of CEOs come up and he shook all of their hands, and every single one of them touched the microphone and then touched their face. So they're all gonna die, and I can't wait.
He is Typhoid Mary. Like, he is. And no one is... Even if he had it and he was, like, coughing up blood, everyone would... like, be afraid to bring this up to him. No one would be like, you know how you're dying? No, they would just tell him what a good job he did coughing.
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
all and it's like, it is like partially hacked to just like point out again, as people have online, it's like, this is all happening because we have like a game show racist president. And yes, that is sort of like a dumb observation. But then every time something like this happens of this magnitude, it sort of like makes that observation feel new again, right? It's just like it re-ups the stakes. So you're used to having the game show president, but then you go down a level in the dungeon and he's stronger now, right?
Yeah, yes, yeah. It's very much like he's a recurring mini boss that gets harder every time, but like this time the difficulty spike is like way more, and you're like expecting him to have like a new area of effect attack, but like it's really fast and it doesn't telegraph.
Yeah, like you're supposed to fight him with New Game Plus, and we are not. We are definitely on the first run.
He's got a red skull above his health bar, and you're like, that didn't used to be there. Fuck. I mean, the one thing that's driving me fucking nuts is that this could not be a better advertisement for socialism and a strong social safety net and Bernie Sanders' platform in general. Like, this country hasn't been a country for like ages, but like in the sense that like, what is a country? Like, well, a country is a place where there is a government that takes care of its citizens. Like, that has never been true in my lifetime, except like most of the time, and for most sort of privileged people that I know, that has sort of been survivable. And now that there is a pandemic that does not give a shit about class lines, and we actually need a country to help, the fact that there isn't one and has not been for decades is like showing up and being a problem for a first time in a very real way. Could not be a bigger advertisement for Bernie Sanders and his socialist platform. And yet here I am. Joe, you want to know the thing that I'm most scared of more than the fucking virus is that the debate's going to come up and someone's going to ask Bernie Sanders, like, will you support Joe Biden? He's going to be like, I love my good friend Joe Biden. He can definitely beat Trump. He's so nice. I love Joe. And I'm just like, no, don't do it.
But that is for sure his weakest thing. Because he's stuck in a dumb place, right? Like, he can't just be like, Joe Biden needs to eat shit because then he's divisive. But at the same time, he's sort of glad-handing him. And I don't, like, here's my cynical take. Both you guys are, like, old as shit. Who cares? You're going to die soon, so just be a dick to each other.
Yep. I mean, like, the fucking thing is that, like, Joe Biden can go up to, like, a random person who didn't actually talk to him. Someone else talked to him, and he, like, mistook who said it. And he's like, listen, Jag, I'm going to eat your face. I'm going to put your whole skin in my ass and poop it. And everyone in the media is going to be like, wow, Joe Biden is fiery. He's a fighter for us.
He's a fighter for us.
But if Bernie Sanders is like, I would like to get more votes than Joe Biden, he's a crafty Jew who's trying to steal the fucking presidency from its rightful owner.
Yeah, it's real grim. And the other problem about this primary is now that we are forever locked into looking at it extra so, because we're all going to be stuck at home for the next whatever amount.
Joe, would you believe, and I am not joking when I say this, I was like just about to make a deal with myself to have less social media time. And then all this happened.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing too, independently probably, because like I was at work and like in between tasks, I'll like look at posts and like that's fine, like who cares? The only issue is that with me, I get sort of like this white noise brain feeling, like it builds up, right? Like the more you look at the screen and you scroll and look at posts, this volume of like white noise builds up for me. And then what happens is like when I get home, it's like just a roaring buzz, and it makes it hard to like sit down and do something otherwise. And what does it sort of encourage you to do? Well, the only thing you have been doing, which is look at the bad screen.
Mm-hmm.
And I imagine it's going to be even harder to do that in the next, I just got the email from work that says I am remote until March 30th.
Yeah, today I got the same thing. We are required to work from home for at least 3 weeks.
And my job really dragged their feet on this because one of the big kind of high profile cases of this virus in Chicago was at the Prudential building, which is, I a huge building downtown with a bunch of offices in it, kind of like on the east side of the loop by Millennium Park. And I'm near there. And the Prudential building did not like close down when they had the virus. They were just like, we're monitoring the situation.
If I remember correctly, they were just like, we are going to wipe everything down with a wipe.
Yeah, we got one wipe and we're going to do the whole building with it. And like, if downtown Chicago is like a stereotypical like busy city area where, so like when noon rolls around and it's lunchtime, like everyone leaves and everyone's going to different buildings. There's like no way there's not massive virus vectors happening.
Everyone's
every,
breathing
restaurant.
on shit.
Yes. There's a place near me called Brown Bag Seafood, which is like a fast casual seafood place. And their thing is like, because they have high volume at lunch because there's so many offices nearby, in line, they give everyone like a laminated menu and you just like check off the stuff you want, which is a very effective way to do it. Here's the thing. Do you know how many fucking people are touching everything? Like Brown Bag Seafood is now the touching restaurant.
It's the contaminated surfaces restaurant. People come up to it and they touch it with their grubby hands and they breathe on it and they put little spit fleckles on it. And Joe, I'm going to take a wild stab. I've seen Brown Bag Seafood. I haven't eaten there, but I'm going to guess they do not instantly put every single laminated menu through like a decontamination fucking field.
No, they should put everyone into a furnace the minute you hand it over, but they don't do that.
I got to ask you, Joe, this is I'm curious if you do this as well. Do you read a list of what the symptoms of coronavirus are and then immediately think like, I don't have any of that, right? And then you're like, I don't have a sore throat, right? And then you think about your throat really hard and you sort of reverse placebo yourself into being like, my throat is sore. Oh my God, I got Rona-shan.
I do that with other stuff and I weirdly have not done it with this yet. And I don't know why. I think because I can't, like, what I'll do is I'll go to WebMD and I'll search mad cow disease and then I'll look at that and be like, well, my brain's never worked right. It's probably because it has the cow fungus in it. And then I'll be convinced that I have it. In this, not so much. And I think maybe because like the symptoms are like so obvious where you like cough. And I know it doesn't always present like that, but I'm currently not coughing. I do not have the tickle to cough. So I think that helps sort of abate the worst of it. If you are an anxious person about getting sick in general, I would imagine the next few weeks and the past few days have been awful for you. And if that's the case, more power to you. That sucks.
Yep. I'm not anxious about getting sick in particular. I'm just sort of anxious in general about being annihilated. And, oh boy, yeah, I have had many instances in the past few days from like, fuck, I do have a sore throat. Oh no. Oh God, I have it. And then like I get distracted by like a picture of like pig poop balls on Twitter and I'm like, that is funny. You have owned that person. And I sort of laugh at that for a while and then I'm like, wait a minute. I don't have a fucking sore. What am I talking about? Like, no, I don't. And I'm like, I'm silly. And then the next day I'm like, but wouldn't it be fucking wild if I had a sore throat? And it just goes on and on. Joe, I got to ask also, so as we know, the coronavirus, we are not in the top risk group. The risk group is old people, which would be a relief, except I know some old people. My parents are what we call insane travel maniacs. Last year, 2019, they spent about 1/3 of the days of the year traveling. And this is because I have siblings on the West Coast in 2 different locations who have both recently had children that they obviously go want to visit. And also my mom's dad, my grandpa, he's very old. He lives in New Jersey on the East Coast. And she wants to visit him as often as possible because, again, he's very old. So we don't know how many years we have left. So they're fucking constantly traveling, and they were supposed to take a fucking plane trip, like, next weekend. And I sent my mom a text being like, hey, please, can you not go? And I learned that apparently there had been an independent full-court press from all 4 of my siblings the same day, and Thank God that she actually postponed the trip. I hope that it's postponed indefinitely.
Getting an old person to not do something they have decided they are doing is actually the hardest thing in the world. Like, there is nothing harder, especially if they're looking forward to it.
Oh my God.
Game over.
Yeah, how are your parents doing with this? Are they as well?
Okay, so here's the deal with my parents. You know that Always Sunny episode where they leave Philly and Charlie has never left Philadelphia, so he has to be chloroformed so he can be taken out of the city?
Yeah.
That is both me and my father. So there is no risk of him traveling anywhere. He is perfectly fine. He will go downtown sometimes, but it's not like he's jumping on any planes. He is very aware of like the stakes. I had a long talk with him yesterday about just like general safety stuff. The only concern we have more than anything else is my grandfather is in assisted living in the southwest suburb where I grew up, and that was more my main concern, right? Because like that location is sort of like a really bad scenario for something like that happening. And I was pleased to know at least that when visitors show up, they are immediately taking people's temperature with a temperature gun.
Hell yeah.
Which is more forward thinking than like anything else that's happened. Like I have a feeling like my job would have not given the directive they had if not for Illinois finally saying CPS, Chicago Public Schools, are closed. Because for a while he was just like, everything needs to be closed down except for CPS, which historically never closes. If there's ever like a plague of like frogs and just locusts and bad stuff, CPS will be open.
Yeah, count the math class is count the locusts.
Yeah, so that it would be open. So the fact that I think that happened was the final nudge. So I don't know. This is a weird time in many ways. Obviously, that's sort of even dumb to say, but it's just like I literally don't know what's going to happen. We have no sense of how bad it's going to get because there just isn't even testing. Half the people who have been tested have been the Utah Jazz. So like I don't know.
I mean, the thing that really fucking kills me is that like I got coronavirus and died. No, that's not what killed me. What kills me is that like there is no authority. Like, yes. I would love it if there was a government agency that knew what it was doing, that had any sort of epidemiologists who were able to exercise their expertise in any way that mattered. But fucking no, we don't actually live in a country. We just live in a sort of a fucking theme park that's very big and not fun. The rides aren't good. The rides are called my job.
Yeah, and this is why, like in fiction with Mad Max scenarios, like the biggest guy with the machete is like, I'm the leader. Like I could go for one of those right now. I'd be like, yes, I will listen to you, the ginormous. You are my boss and dad now. But we don't even have that.
Cog Talk. Cog Talk. So I, Joe, have worked from home 2 days a week for a while now. I've sort of negotiated and bullied my way into getting those 2 work from home days a week. And that sounds like I'm like a savvy negotiator, but no, I got those work from home days in lieu of adequate pay. So
like that was it's like, you're not going to pay me. I'm going to be in pajamas 2 days a week. And they were like, well, we hate paying you. It's our least favorite thing to do with you.
Yep. I mean, almost word for word, dude. Anyway, so as I said, my work gave us 3 weeks mandatory work from home starting today. But I've actually been at home for a couple of days because I had my work from home day. And I basically then, from a position of strength in that I had my laptop there and I need my laptop to work, I was like, hey, guess what? I'm scared of the virus and I'm not coming in. And there was a little bit of controversy and pushback, but I'm like, I didn't say this word for word, but it was sort of the upshot was fuck around and find out. And
it's funny you say that phrase because I was thinking before we started this, the funniest epitaph on a tombstone would be fucked around and found out.
Oh God. Fuck. That would be funny. The point I'm making is that I'm sort of a work from home veteran. This is nothing new to me. This is actually what I wanted all along. But Joe, we've noted a phenomenon that has caused us great mental anguish. What is this?
There's been a lot of articles and posts from people who are trying to be quote unquote helpful about, how to properly work from home. And they are the most just bootlicking things I have ever read.
House broken cucks.
It's really bad. Like, they're like, whatever you do not take your shoes off. Your boss would not like to know if your shoes were off.
I saw someone say, like, if you wouldn't do it at the office, don't do it at home. My brain turned to fucking lava.
You are your own jailer at that point. Our mutual friends, the McHenrys, shared with us a very kind of disappointing and scary screenshot that was just like explicitly saying, like, you wouldn't do laundry at work, so you should not, under any circumstances, do laundry while working from home. And I got news for you. I always do laundry when I work from home. It's the perfect time because it's perfect.
That's when I do the most laundry.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Joe, I gotta ask you, as a fellow office worker, has there ever been a day where you actually have 8 solid hours of work to do?
No, like, I've never had start to finish nonstop 8 hours. I've had like the work being like awful and suddenly I get 12 hours of nonstop dumped on me. But like on the regular, the idea that like I clock in at 8 and I like work nonstop till 5 without ever getting a chance to like so much as look away from my screen is just simply not it. And it
ain't it, Chief.
No, it's not. And the thing that really freaked me out is a lot of people were like sharing these and replying to these articles and these sort of tips as like, this is really good. Thank you. I would have,
I would have had fun. I would have gamed. I would have read a book.
or even just been like, oh, I would have not made myself in a mental prison until I saw this. Thank you for putting me behind mind bars.
Like the thing about office work that is so cruel is that like the white collar work is useless shit that does not take very long. We know this. Obviously, the crisis days are different. Those always pop up. But like on a given day, you only have a little bit of busy work to do, and then whatever, who gives a shit? The point of the office, the point of the actual building where there are people whose contemptuous gaze is keeping you cucked, the point of it is psychological terrorism. Like that,
yeah.
That's not a controversial opinion. Like that is the truth. They want to scare you into obedience, and you're at home. You're at fucking home. You have the best of both worlds. You are able to do some labor and get paid for it, as you had made a deal with the boss to do. But then you also have you have video games. They're right there.
And even not games, you can just like, I can put a bunch of meat and sauce in the slow cooker and turn it on. Just like these little victories.
Yes.
That are huge, huge wins because it's stuff you don't have to worry about when you immediately get done working. It's crazy.
Like for real, there are so many things around the house. Like it's been said plenty of times that like the sort of boomer housework that you're expected to keep up in your house is all designed with the assumption that like one of the two people who live in the house is cleaning all the time and doesn't go to work, which doesn't fucking happen anymore. So like there's so many household chores that like me and my wife come home from work, we're tired, we don't have a lot of gas in the tank, we don't do it, we put it off, we actually contribute to the problem a little more by causing some more dirt. If I didn't have the work from home days to like clean up the house, do a load of laundry, do the dishes, it'd be really bad. We'd be fucked more.
Like the version of Joe, myself, at 3 o'clock, who tells himself what he's going to do when he gets home, compared to the 5:45 person, the gap between expectation and reality is crazy.
Yeah.
Like this is not something I have sincerely believed, but it is as if I tell myself at 3:00, when I get home, I will learn to play the guitar.
And then when you get home, you're like, oh, I don't have hands.
Yes, in fact, I've never liked music.
It's fucking crazy. And like, oh my God, I've seen people who say, don't wear pajamas because you'll feel less professional. I'm sorry, like, what brain comes up with this? Like, how hurt do you have to be to deny yourself this consequence-free treat? Now, I understand that there are some people who, like, wearing the same thing day after day contributes to, like, a sense of depression or malaise. In that case, like, yeah, don't listen to me fucking letter for letter, but, like, listen to me in the sense of, like, do what it takes for you to feel good. These people aren't saying do what it takes for you to feel good. They're saying do what it takes for you to replicate your cog shape at home. No, I won't do it.
Yeah, they were like, you know how any sort of sense of normalcy or dignity, a boss will say, well, that just doesn't look right. They want you to import that into your home.
So I haven't seen this post, but do you think it's out there? Do you think it's realistic that it's out there that someone has said, don't look at your phone at home while you're working from home, it just looks bad?
Oh, for sure, for sure. I had a friend in grad school who worked for a big telecom, and their work from home policy required them to have their webcam on nonstop, so you had to have like footage of you working at home. But then also all of the tech savvy guys would take looped footage of themselves working with different outfits on for different days, and they would make it so it would play that back to HQ.
Holy shit. Joe, a less high-tech genius version of that, and I hope no one at my work listens to this podcast. One, because already, if that was the case, I'd be fired. But now especially. Part of the work from home protocol that we were given when we were told that we had 3 weeks mandatory work from home is that you have to email your manager when you're signing on and you're signing off so that they know that you're actually working your shift at the right times.
Like, don't you have, like, Slack or something? You're either online or you're not.
Well, I'm going to be online all the time because I decided to start playing Cookie Clicker again because I mentioned it in the last episode, so I need to have my computer on all night so I get the cookies per second for all those hours. But
okay.
The real genius thought I had, because I was pissed off at first. I was like, oh, this is insane. This is just tracking workers needlessly. You don't trust me? Jesus Christ, these people. And then I remembered, wait, they're just asking for an email? Gmail lets you schedule sends. I'm just going to schedule emails at 9 to 5 for the rest of the 3 weeks and work whenever.
You're using your cog power against them.
I mean, it's all that they deserve, really.
Right, yeah. This is like you tricking the devil with your own demonic proposition.
This is like the devil was like, I'll give you what you desire, but you must take this cursed keyboard and play a song on it for 24 hours a day. And I'm like, I'll take that deal. And he's like, tee, oh, you fool. And then I just put on the demo on loop and walk away. And he's like, no.
Yep. And the thing that is so mind-blowing about all of this is if you've had a job where working remotely is capable and allowed, but it feels like you're pulling teeth to do it, or it's like some weird benefit, you feel weird asking, to be in that situation and then seeing like every company across the whole country just being like, yeah, we don't care, do it, whatever it takes. It just makes all the resistance before this seem, rightfully so, arbitrary and dumb.
Like, so many things that are happening now are laying bare for all to see that all of these burdens that have been laid upon the common person are completely fucking useless, and the only purpose of them was to be a burden so that the people above you could feel happy placing weight upon your shoulders. And just yet another one is this work from home shit. Because, like, oh, wait, so you're cool with just letting everyone do this? I didn't have to come to the office? I could have been looking at my phone? Like, and it's fine?
Yeah.
I wonder what's going to happen when it's... I mean, well, we don't know if coronavirus is ever going to go away. But let's just do a mental exercise that the plague abates and we can leave our bunkers at some point. What's going to happen at that point? Like, are they going to be like, yeah, no, everyone has to come back to the office now and working from home is not allowed? Because now it's like they're going to know that it's fine.
Every job will insist that it didn't happen.
Fuck. Jesus. I was about to be like, they can't deny it now. Before they could be like, well, we don't think you're going to do a good job, but now they can't deny it. But I was not thinking big enough. They can deny it.
Yeah, they could just say that, like, that didn't happen, or you're remembering it wrong.
It actually was really bad. You hated it, and also you did a worse job.
To your point about how, like, the things that crush us are all just arbitrary choices by powerful people, the fact that every major city now is, like, saying that, like, oh, we're going to stop doing utility shutoffs for unpaid bills. Well, first of all, utility shutoffs shouldn't happen ever. Like, they just shouldn't. Like, you shouldn't not get water if you're behind on money. That shouldn't be a thing. And suddenly now it's okay, which means it was always a choice. it was always fake.
A choice. God damn it. It's so... on one hand, it's so deeply demoralizing and so crushing to see this. But on the other hand, as you like to say over and over to my chagrin, I've gone Joker mode.
Yeah. This huge Jokerification. Like, I felt like every time I saw, like, something like that on, like, a news piece around my timeline, it was another layer of Joker makeup I was just putting on.
I just want to get a soundboard with only one button so I could have it just go like, it's all part of the plan. Every time I see a headline.
Yeah. Also, we're saying all this as people who have, like, office jobs. And, like, the other thing that sucks and is so demoralizing is anyone who works in any service-related industry, anything face-to-face related, one, they're not going to get time off or any useful paid sick leave, or they're just going to get fired.
Yeah, there are two options here. One is you have to go to your plague job and get sick, or you lose all of your income and then you're poor, which is arguably worse than being sick because you're probably going to get sick anyway, but then also you're poor.
Yes, and then what? You can't get evicted for 30 days longer than normal because of the restriction. That's not going to pull you out of the hole.
Yeah.
The other thing, this just again reaffirms that the people who make, like, the least amount of money have the most important jobs in relation to, like, profits. Like, when I was at the grocery store and the line was, like, 1,000 people long and it took 40 minutes, the cashier was a superhero, right? Like, this is someone who is getting people checked out in time with a demand that exceeds even the craziest of Thanksgiving preparation. And in that circumstance, like, they're making exactly the same things. In fact, they probably have shittier hours and they got told to come in and stay longer.
They're getting breathed on by the wettest, sickest people in the city.
Yeah, I felt weird because, like, I wanted to, as I was leaving and talking to the cashier and the person bagging, I wanted to be like, and I didn't want to just say thank you. I wanted to make it clear, like thank you for real. Like, this is good that you're doing this and putting up with all this. And, like, I couldn't find the right words, so I just was like, thank you for your service. And then I left. Like, that's what came out of me.
I mean, that was the right thing to say. If anyone deserves it, it's not a troop. It's them.
They're the bean troops. They allow people to get the beans.
Like, it really is just like anyone who does anything really, really important. Like what I do, I bemoan that my job isn't important and that the spreadsheets don't matter. And that's true, but it comes with the fact that I'm extremely privileged that I get to work from home, that they let me do it, and that I get to socially distance and do my part to, one, not get sick myself, and two, not spread it among our horrible country. But like the people who are doing the actual work, like the fact that there is food in the grocery store, and if next week more food comes back, every single person in that supply chain is putting themselves at way more risk than I'm going to have to.
And they're not getting hazard pay. They should get hazard pay, but they're not.
Yeah, it's fucked.
Yeah, if you work for tips too, especially, it's like, it's doubly messed up, right? Because like there's less customers, period. Tips make up a bigger part of your income, so there's just less tables or less heads to give you tips. And yeah, and your boss will either just make you come in and you'll have a shift where it was like almost not worth it, or they'll just again cut you loose.
And the thing is, like, you can't even be like, hey, please come to my restaurant, because like that's a bad idea. You're gonna get sick. You don't put yourself at risk.
Yeah.
I wish there was a way that I could go on like Grubhub and like, I don't want to order anything. I just like to tip.
Yeah, I would just like to just give. Can I get your chef's Venmo?
Yeah, pretty much. Oh my god.
The other thing too is, I do not anticipate any sort of meaningful intervention. Like I know the payment to student loan interest and student loan payments is suspended temporarily as of like, I don't know, we started and like the tweet happened like an hour ago.
Yeah.
Will there be paid sick leave mandated as a result of something Congress does? I doubt it. And even if there is, if they already fired you, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We're the anime Sickos, and we're here to say anime is bad in a war crimes way.
Joe, you mentioned earlier the post-apocalyptic fictional world of Mad Max. Now, in these precarious times, we may turn to fiction to see that maybe things could be worse than they are now.
They could be. I'm just thinking about Mad Max right now, and like, what's really the problem? You have to drive a cool car.
I don't have a car now. It'd be cool to have a car that had like a theme. It was like a themed car. That would be dope.
Yeah, my car's theme right now is Hyundai. It's not that cool. Like, I definitely would want to put maybe some spikes on it.
My name is just Tom. In Mad Max world, my name would be some sort of pun about like a badass word.
Yeah, or you just be like the Lizard Man.
Holy shit, that'd be pretty cool. But the problem is that like gas is really expensive.
Yeah, but the only thing that matters is getting gas. So your life would have a singular focus you've never had before.
Oh, fuck. And achieving that focus would let me drive my cool themed car.
Right, yeah, because like right now you come home from work and then you were like, oh, I got to do SEO for the podcast. And they're like, oh, I actually should be cooking too. That shit doesn't matter because it's only like, do I have my spiky shoulder pads on? Yes, I do because I sleep in them. Uh-huh. And now it's time to locate and put gas in my big car. And then as long as you're doing that, you're delivering.
And like a lot of the times we talk about how like bosses are sort of arbitrary figures that are just given power for no reason. I think you were talking about earlier with like a big, huge guy with a machete who can yell really loud.
Yeah, you know why that guy is your boss.
Yeah.
Because he's bigger than you, and he will crush you if you mouth off.
And he doesn't say, like, please get me the reports. He's like, I need you to, like, bring me 10 scalps. And you're like, I got it. That's I'm not alienated from this labor. This makes sense.
Yeah, the huge machete guy will never send you a confusing email where you don't know what to do. He will only threaten you, and that will have a very clear purpose.
Also, you don't have a social distancing problem because you live in a huge compound with 300 other hooting boys.
Yeah. You also just stop showering.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah. The other thing, Mad Max has to be dusty. Like, I don't know if you're in a non-dusty place when Mad Max End of the World happens and everything just becomes desertified.
You just get transported to Australia, dude. It's just a big portal.
That could probably be it. I imagine there's like a wet version of Mad Max where everyone is.
It's called Wet Max.
Yeah, they're just muddy.
Oh, that's down by the bayou. Oh, yeah. That's Louisiana Max. That's James Carville Max.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
So that one's fine. Mad Max is fine.
We've determined that one's actually better. Okay, no, but we can definitely find a fictional post-apocalypse that makes us feel better about now. Death Stranding, we've talked a lot about that. Recently finished up Death Stranding. Death Stranding is a post-apocalyptic world where the souls of the dead cannot pass over into the world of the dead. They are stranded, as it were, after their death.
And for the record, we don't know if that's happening here or not. We have no way of knowing.
It definitely is on its way. So the ghosts come back. The ghosts of the dead come back to the real world. And the ghosts constantly seek out the living so that they can eat them. And if they do eat them, there's a huge explosion. And it's caused a huge amount of problems. And also rain now makes anything that gets wet from it age extremely quickly. So you can't go out in the rain. And also there's invisible ghosts that are going to eat you. So everyone lives in a big hole and is very sad. So we think that that's probably worse than this, right?
Right, but you're way too focused on the ghosts. The cool thing about Death Stranding is that you have a job that's important. Like when you hand someone a package that they've been waiting for, that feels like really good, right? Like helping people feels good, and when you get to do it as your job, and as opposed to just answering emails, that sounds pretty good.
It does, and also, I mean, the fact is that when you do deliver the packages, like I was expecting it to be, when I started the game, like I expected a theme to be like social alienation. Like everyone's alienated from each other and you need to like coax the world back into like connecting. No, whenever you give someone a package, they're like, oh my God, Sam, thank you so much for this package. Oh my God, you are my best friend. I can't believe you would do this for me. I appreciate it so much because really I know how much effort you put into this, and really you don't understand how thankful I am. Like this is this is the most important thing that's ever happened to me, and like everyone's so nice.
They appreciate it, yeah. And helping people feels good. My job is whatever. I do my computer stuff. I was at Aldi and there was an old woman who like couldn't get the milk because she was like in a wheelchair, and she was like, can you get me that milk? And honestly, just opening the fridge door and getting her a gallon of milk felt better than anything I've done at my job ever.
Fuck. Joe, and here's another thing about Death Stranding that is wild as hell. You do all of these deliveries, but you never collect payment.
Yeah, you're just in it for the game. You don't have to worry about rent.
It's a full socialist world. All of these people living in their bunkers need stuff, and the government is just like, well, we gotta give it to them.
I feel like Turning Point USA would use Death Stranding as like, see what happens under socialism, and then everyone would just be like, actually, this kicks ass.
Yeah, I'm already in a bunker. I've already gone full Death Stranding mode. What is some ghosts and time rain versus a hero who I love giving me the things I need for free?
Right. Also, Monster's still a thing. Like, I don't drink it now, but I'd probably start doing it.
Okay, so Death Stranding world is definitely better than our post-apocalypse. No, we can definitely find a post-apocalypse in fiction that is worse than now.
What about Attack on Titan is a show about a huge naked baby eating your friends. That would suck.
Yeah. It's about there's a walled city everywhere. Everyone outside the walled city is a huge naked baby that eats your friends. And there's sort of like an infinite number of them, and killing them is extremely difficult. And you just live in constant fear of them, and they seem to be escalating in power, so that there's not even a status quo. It's just constantly getting worse and worse.
And all that sounds bad, yeah. But they also go to a school where they hang out with homies.
Oh, shit, Joe. This school, is this like a special school where they learn powers?
Yeah. I mean, the powers in this case are how to do parkour with wires, but it is a type of power for sure.
Well, Joe, this parkour with wires you talk about, in order for this to be a reality, what needs to have happened is the governing body of this city needs to have recognized and identified a major problem and taken proactive steps to create a solution and then distribute it widely enough that it is able to be actually implemented in a way that is effective.
And they have identified the problem in the show, which is the huge naked baby that eats everyone. Everyone's like, this is a huge bummer. I hate that it does this.
And you think, listener at home, like, well, yeah, obviously they would identify the huge naked baby problem. We would do that in real life if that was the case. Our problems are too subtle. No, they're not. It's capitalism. Capitalism's the baby.
Yeah, it is the baby. We would never get. What is the weird grappling system called?
I think it's like 3D, like the 3D movement system or something.
Yes. Those would for sure be developed, but it would be widely expensive and it wouldn't work. Our version of the 3D maneuver system is the F-35.
No, what would happen is they give the only model to Donald Trump, and he goes on TV to show that he's going to kill the Titan, and then he would accidentally shoot the grappling hook through his own head, but somehow not die.
Yes, not die. Yes. No, he would be fine.
Yeah, and he would be fine. It's just like they can't get the hook out, and like they're like, oh, we didn't write down how to make it. We need to refer to that one to make a second one. He's just like, no, it's stuck.
And the other thing about Attack on Titan is that they seem to really value trains. There's a lot of trains. I think they're invested in rail infrastructure, which again seems really good.
Okay, so Attack on Titan post-apocalypse is better than us. Oh shit. Okay. We're on the anime train. A series with very similar themes, but I think a lot bleaker, is The Promised Neverland, which is a show about this sort of boarding school where a bunch of precocious children are raised and loved. They're all orphans, and they all are beloved by their caretaker, who they all call mom, and they all love each other. But what it actually is a farm, because the dominant species of the world are these huge demons who are much stronger than humans, who are raising these children as their food, because the demons eat humans. And so the only humans who live in the world are on the farm, and they're also, every once in a while, a child is spared from being eaten in order that they become the next mom for the farm to raise up generations and generations of humans to be fed to the demons. Now, that can't possibly be better than here, right?
Yeah, that's pretty bleak. Although they have to take tests every day. Like, these farms are like SAT ranches because like high-scoring brains taste extra good.
Yes.
You said that these are the only people that live in the world. That's not true. There are like factory-farmed humans for like the poor demons, but like the fancy SAT ranch food kids are consumed by like the
royalty,
Epstein of the demons.
Exactly. Yeah. So they do have to become. Every child at that farm has to become a genius.
Yeah, and the thing is, there's also a huge part in. I've read the manga, I haven't watched the anime, but there's a huge point of contention, which is one of them realizes what's up, and it's not good. But the problem is, all the kids are super happy. They live their lives completely fulfilled. They have friends. Everyone is very nice during their time alive.
Yeah, and when they do eventually realize, all the kids, what's going on, those bonds that they formed in their innocent childhood allow them to form a type of solidarity that never breaks. And the fact that they're all geniuses gives them the skills to overcome the strength differential between, human children and adult demons, and allows them to actually affect change and change their circumstances. And
yeah, like some of the kids definitely get killed, but they definitely end up killing some demons by outsmarting them with just guns and shit, which I don't know, I kind of always wanted to be part of a guerrilla faction. That sounds kind of cool.
I would love some solidarity with the people who are also trapped in this meat grinder with me.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's actually way better than here.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I got one. This one has to be worse than real life. This is a manga that I've recently read a little bit of. I'm not so far in, but it's Seraph of the End, which is about post-apocalyptic Japan where vampires have staged like a big coup. All the adults were killed by a virus, which I think was created by the vampires. So already the virus that they have is way worse than the virus we have. And then all the children have to grow up in this world where vampires are the ruling elite. That can't be better than here.
Yeah, I watched the anime, or the first season of the anime, and I really enjoyed it. We're running into a similar problem here where everything you're describing is very bleak and for sure worse than our current reality. However, there's a special school, dude.
Fuck, you're right. There's a high school.
There's a special school for vampire hunting.
Oh, and they're ranked. They're ranked, too.
They have clear goals. They have a career trajectory. It's obviously very dangerous. I don't want to underplay the chance that a vampire could kill you. That said,
a vampire could kill me now. Peter Thiel's out there, and he's rich.
Yeah, he's rich, and he just doesn't know about you yet. That's the only reason you're not dead.
And the fucking kids in the vampire killing high school get cursed gear.
Yeah, so they all, if I remember correctly, I'm going to just do this off the dome because I haven't seen this in like 3 years. You are assigned, or a cursed weapon chooses you.
If you have shown enough potential, you are allowed to attempt to claim a cursed weapon. Cursed weapons have demons that live inside them, and if your will is too weak, you turn into a demon and have to be killed in kind.
Well, I would love for my will to be used for anything productive, for starters.
It would also be good to sort of have concrete proof that like I'm competent and that it's good that I'm doing this, because a lot of the labor I put into the world, both creatively and professionally, is just like a bunch of question marks over my head, and I'm like, I hope when I die I don't regret all this.
Yeah, if I saw you try to get a cursed weapon and you died, I'd be like, he couldn't hack it. But like there would be some finality in that.
Yeah. Yes. I wouldn't be like, could I have done it? I would know because I died.
Yeah. So that's that. That's not that bad. I like huge naked babies and like vampires that kill you. The vampires are also kind of sexy, which obviously is a nightmare situation.
Like none of the people who are causing us pain are sexy. Like Donald Trump and fucking Kissinger and all these people. They're not sexy.
No, they're not sexy. What about Dr. Stone is quite literally the world ends and it resets back to a beginning of an Age of Empires game where you only have like stone tools.
Yeah. So the show is about, in the modern world, there's this strange flash of light that turns everyone into stone statues. And then like 5,000 years pass and like a couple of guys break out and are stuck in like the world where nature has reclaimed the world, and they have no working modern technology and have to make do. All the things that we rely on, all of these modern conveniences are gone.
Yeah, and the main character is like a super genius who knows everything about science. So he's basically trying to get through the tech tree of humankind so he can, restore society. He wakes up and it's like caveman times.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm on New Game Plus. I started with 10 levels already.
Yeah, so that would be bad. There's also a chance, though, and if living through that is anything like reading the manga, it's possible I would learn some things, which I don't know how about you lately, but I feel like I'm incapable of absorbing new information. I feel like I'm full.
I agree.
I don't want to be, but there's lots of times where I'm like, I'm going to try and learn X today, and then just it bounces off of me. It's not possible. There's too much Dragon Ball in there. It's just not happening.
Oh, that's a good point. And not only is there a lot of learning to be done in Dr. Stone, but again, it's a world where the leaders are chosen because of their competence in relevant skills, and the trust that people have in them comes from the fact that they are actually engaging in actions that materially benefit their lives and the lives of those around them. And as a result of that, the community bands together in order to pool their resources and their labor, not for personal gain or for survival per se, but for the mutual benefit of the community as a whole.
Yeah, also there's sexy cave ladies.
Yeah, all the ladies have huge asses and wear very skimpy rags. So that'd be kind of cool.
You know those like porn banners of like the Flintstones having sex? That's what Dr. Stone is. Dr. Stone is if you took that banner and you made it a manga.
Oh, fuck. Okay, so actually that's pretty good. That's not much worse than what we got. And also they find a cure for the stonification, so it's not even like their world-ending malady was even that bad.
Not only that, the main character, although he's smart, teaches other people as he goes along. So he's also
a good manager.
Yes. He's like kind of like, he does have a little bit of the Dr. House thing where he's like smart and a dick, but like he's not a bad person. And he also is really good at identifying people's strengths.
Yeah, he loves to delegate.
And he's good at it. Like he's like an actual real boss.
Like one of the things that he did to get the craftsmen, like there's an old man who's like an expert craftsman in the village, and the way that they got him to help out was they kidnapped him and were like, you're going to be our craftsman. And he's like, no, I don't trust you people. I'm not going to be your craftsman. And he's like, I can't believe it. I didn't see that coming. Guess I'll try it myself. And he starts to do an extremely shitty job of like blowing glass. And the guy is like, oh my God, just let me do it. And that's how they get him on their side.
Yeah. You wouldn't be able to do that unless you knew what makes someone tick and how to like be a good boss.
Yes, empathy. Oh my God. Okay, so Dr. Stone is actually way better than now. Okay, no, Joe. Now this has got to be worse than our current reality. The Dragon Ball Z timeline where the androids won. Now that's bad. You have to say that's bad.
That's pretty bad. So the Future Trunks timeline, I'm just trying to remember correctly. The androids 17 and 18 have taken over the world, and the world is just mostly kind of ruined, and people just are trying to survive, right? Like it's just grim.
Yeah. Pretty bad.
That's pretty bad. Like, but let's do a thought exercise. Tom, what are some things that could kill you tomorrow?
Heart failure due to the unhealthy Western diet that we're all accustomed to. Mm-hmm. Poor air quality in our polluted cities. Mm-hmm. Getting hit by a bus. Okay. Coronavirus, except I'm in my bunker. Just general poverty due to the sort of economic inequality inherent to our nation.
So in the Android timeline, if you're a survivor, really the only thing that can kill you is like a hot robot in a jean jacket, which is, as far as ways to go, probably one of the better ones.
Yeah, you'd make a compelling argument. I can't argue against that. Fuck!
Yeah, so that's not that bad either.
Jesus, Joe, I don't want to be a doomsayer, but based on this discussion, I don't think we can come up with a fictional world worse than our current real one, even in apocalyptic fiction.
We don't necessarily need to do apocalyptic fiction. I don't think, for instance, Dune is not an apocalyptic narrative. It has sort of the trappings of it because to live on Arrakis Dune desert planet, that shit sucks.
Yeah, it's like very hot and there's no water.
It just sucks. It also doesn't even look like anything good. It's bad.
It's dusty and it's like sort of beige.
The thing about Dune is everyone, when they talk about it, they're obsessed with like, oh, there's the spice and the sandworms, and it's like this narrative about ecological justice and respecting the planet. Whatever, shut up. That part doesn't count. The best part about Dune is that it is a world where computers are illegal.
Yes, long ago, long before the actual events of the novel, the computers, it's never made clear what they did, but the computers made everyone real steamed. And
They
made
did
computers
posting. They
illegal.
fucking did posting.
Oh my God.
There was posts, and everyone went nuts. And then they decided that there will be no more computers, no more devices that allow for posting, and the only way you can do advanced math is to take this fucked up drug.
And everyone took the drug, and everyone got extremely weird and stoic, and no one really expresses emotion or talks in a normal way. They all just sort of exposit big, long monologues about philosophy.
Yeah, everyone is a brain genius.
Joe, I think we've stumbled into, in our search for a worse fictional world than our current one, I think we've accidentally stumbled into a much more significant discovery. Specifically, that the world of Dune is for sure what's gonna actually happen.
Yeah, eventually things will get so bad that the answer will just be no more computers. Just
turn them off. Log off.
Can't have them anymore. No good. Electricity will only be done by turning a big wheel, like Conan the Barbarian. That'll be the only thing allowed.
And the only thing that the electricity is going to power is like a toaster. So like you can have nice bread.
That's fine. I love video games and I love online. But if I could just not have to do it, if someone could make that choice for me.
If someone was like, hey, we're going to take away computers. I know you're sad about your video games, but we're going to give you a strange game where you play throwing 3 carved knuckle bones with runes carved into them. I'd be like, oh, it's a wash. That's fine.
Yeah, I can read a strategy guide for that. That's fine.
Excellent. In the bunker, 3 days later.
I finished all the anime. It's all gone. I watched it all. I didn't think I was gonna get through Escaflowne. I was always telling people I was gonna watch it, but I actually did it.
What is anime?
I rewatched Dragon Ball, and I just don't. Why didn't Master Roshi ever learned to fly? Like, it just never came up. It's dumb because Tien and Chaozu learned to fly, like, right in the beginning, and just Roshi never learns.
What is anime?
I watched all the movies. They were fine.
Wait, what's anime?
I don't know if I can do this anymore. This bunker, like, it feels smaller, right? Like the walls every day inch a little closer. I started marking the hours with chalk, but it just feels pointless, you know? And I just don't understand, like, will the air run out? Well, were we just put on this planet to suffer? Were you put on this planet to suffer? Aren't you worried?
What is anime? Thank you for listening to Anime Sickos. I've been Tom, a sicko. You can follow me on Twitter at TomHarrison19. Joe is also a sicko. You can follow him on Twitter at ShariaUncle. You can follow Anime Sickos on Twitter at Anime Sickos, or email us at animesickos@gmail.com. Please leave us a review or something. I don't know. Tell a friend. Anyway, until next time, bye.